Well, and we are also in progress. A very warm welcome to another episode of Fauza's Diary. If you are looking for something little and yet inspiring, then you have stumbled upon the right show. That's the beauty about my diaries. They inspire us, they encourage us, but also they make us think. Joining me today on this conversation is my brother, Spencer Chan, all the way from Hong Kong, but he's joining me right here from United Arab Emirates, Dubai. He's a life coach, and I am not gonna introduce more because I want him to talk a little bit about himself and why does he decided to be a coach. Spencer, thank you so much for taking your time to join me on my Fauza's Diaries and for saying yes to sharing. Please introduce yourself briefly once again so that our viewers will get to know you a bit more before even we start the recording.
Sure. Thank you, Fauza, for inviting me. It's a privilege for me. My name is Spencer Chan. I'm a life coach. I have a family with 3 sons. They are all adult age now. My eldest has graduated from college. She's now working in an NGO back in Hong Kong. I work as a life coach. I coach like many other life coaches do, like personal development, personal growth, life purpose, setting goals, etc. But I enjoy most doing 3 things with people. One is dealing with cross-cultural issues, because that's where my master degree is focusing on. Mm-hmm. So I do with like people in transition, like they are seeking to go overseas to work cross-culturally, or like a team leader who is dealing with a team, cross-cultural team, or mm-hmm. dealing with cross-cultural issues at work. That's my interest. Another thing that I enjoy doing is coaching people for their spiritual growth. And I'm especially interested in helping people implement their spirituality in their office and in their home. Wow. Because I think that faith has to practice, otherwise it's dead faith. And the third area I'm enjoying a lot is about relationships, mm-hmm. and especially marriage. I know that a lot of people, especially people who work full-time, both husband and wife, they struggle with a lot of things. So yeah. These 3 areas I enjoy most in doing.
Mm-hmm. That is so powerful, Spencer, but I love the aspect that you have actually just mentioned, that, you know, faith without works is dead. That's yes. Biblical, isn't it? And I love also the fact that you are a coach, a life coach, but you also, you know, you share your faith, you know, in the marketplace with others. And I feel that is so powerful and so profound, especially on such a time that we are in. And okay, you've shared a bit about leadership, you know, and you know, mm-hmm. inspiring people, you know, to, you know, especially in their faith and all that. But I also want to know a bit more. What was your driving force that led you to be devoted in coaching, you know, in not mm-hmm. just leaders and all that, but in general, because you're already doing, let's say, you do 3 kind of different, you know, leadership coaching and all that. What was your why? Because there is always a reason why people follow the careers they have. What was your driving force?
Yeah. One of the very important driving forces that coaching leaders pay well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but other than that, actually, I enjoy seeing people grow, mm-hmm. and seeing people discover their potential. Right. Like recently, I finished coaching a lady. Mm-hmm. At the conclusion, usually when I coach, the last session is a conclusion and to wrap up and summarize what they have learned. And she said that she told me that she appreciated that I never told her what to do, but helped her to discover what she can do. And she felt that she discovered that she has ability to solve issues without asking for any outside help, and that helps her to build her confidence. And I enjoy receiving feedback like this. I can see that people can grow and people can make a difference in their own lives, and that is very encouraging. It's like I always tell people that a person is like a driver in a car. A coach is like someone sitting next to you on the passenger side. It's always nice that when you drive, in my case, I like my wife sitting next to me, especially in long drive, because I may feel tired. I may need someone to wake me up, hand me some snack, hand me a bottle of water, or just keep me awake.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is, before she got to know how to drive, she's a perfect companion in my car.
Right.
Once she got her driving license, when she started teaching me how to drive, ladies, no husband in this world like their wives teach them how to drive.
That is a real struggle for a lot of women and a lot of men. And I can say that I am a good driver, and I'm also a very good co-driver to my husband. You see, now you took the wrong turn. You didn't listen to the GPS. Yes, Spencer. It is fun. It is fun.
Yes. So a person is like a driver driving your car, and sometimes you know you can drive. You don't want people to tell you how to drive. A coach is like a silent companion by your side. So I like to be a coach because when I drive with my wife without teaching me, I feel I'm a better driver because I know my wife is with me or my son is with me. I will drive more careful. I would drive nicer. I'll be a better driver. And the same is true. A coach do not teach our clients what to do, but just be with them, listen to them, occasionally ask some questions to raise their awareness. So that is the thing that I enjoy doing.
Wow, that is so basically listening to you, Spencer, you don't actually tell them as in do this or do that. They share their journey and you walk with them side by side.
Yeah, that is the assumption of coaching practice, is that we assume that the client has all the resources, strength, or wisdom that they need to succeed or to overcome an issue or to grow, to excel, just that they don't know they have that potential, or they got stuck. Sometimes it's just some self-limiting thoughts. They got themselves stuck. And they need a third party to listen to them and possibly, as a third party, point out something that they cannot see by themselves.
Wow, it's so true, because I think sometimes you see much more the credibility of another person than themselves. And yeah, that is so inspiring. But I also want us to talk about, you've mentioned earlier that, you also use spirituality, because faith that is dead, is thing. So how do you then, Spencer, use spiritual value in your coaching? How do you combine the two, in the marketplace?
Right. Well, of course, before I say anything, as a coach, I don't impose my faith on others. So I think when I coach spirituality, I mean just to help them to practice whatever faith they have. But I, as a Christian, I believe that the Holy Spirit works in people's heart. So that I don't need to think too hard to find a solution for my client. I believe that the Holy Spirit will guide me to ask sometimes just very innocent questions, but it would be very inspiring for my client. For example, I recently is coaching a young man who got some traumatic experience from his previous job, some toxic management. And we thought it was our 10th session. So I asked him, so how do you feel about your current situation? And then he expressed and expressed and expressed. So I just suddenly felt that, oh, I see something. So I said, it sounds like you feel like you're a victim. He said, yes, exactly. I feel like I'm a victim. So realizing that you are a victim, what does that make you feel?
Yeah.
And then he said, expressed, and then he suddenly, it dawned on him. I didn't say anything. It dawned on him that, oh, I don't need to be a victim. Why do I need to be a victim?
Right.
It changed his whole behavior. And he told me that this was the greatest session that he ever had, because he realized that he doesn't have to be a victim. He can get out of that mentality and he can be free again. So I didn't do that. It's just the work of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, but also you are in tune, Spencer. You know, it takes level of you know, it takes a certain level of your growth in your faith and in, you know, you as a follower of Jesus, as a Christian, for you to be in tune with, you know, with things. Well, that's discerning, isn't it? That is the spirit of discernment. And I like that. I think combining that and spirituality, you don't force someone, but, you know, the Holy Spirit, you know, it convicts us, convicts people. So that is so beautiful. But I also want to know, Spencer, I mean, to be honest, doing things in the marketplace as Christians, it's not easy, right? And you deal with different cultures, you deal with different faith, you deal with different personalities. You know, we are all different in our values and all that. So as a believer, for you, as you walk side by side, as you sit on the other side of the seat, you know, has there been a moment in your coaching career that your faith was tested? How did you deal with that?
Oh, yes.
And what did you learn about yourself? Because you know, it's not easy being in the marketplace, Spencer. How did you deal with that?
Yes. And well, if you ask me, the most tested time that I have is the recent COVID crisis. Last year, when the COVID hit, I suddenly, within a few weeks, I lost all my clients. Okay. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So that was a crisis. That is quite dramatic.
Yeah.
and I'm sure that a lot of people can understand this. A lot of businesses are in a similar place. When a crisis hit, or when uncertainty, when we are facing uncertainty, our human reaction is fear. Fear of the unknown. Yes. Fear of harm. Yeah. And the fear will make us do things that we may not normally do. So like in a crisis, in an uncontrolled situation, we want to eliminate the fear. So we try to control. We try to take control of the situation. And that sometimes is what makes us into trouble, is we want to take control when we actually cannot. Right. So like, for example, now we cannot take control. I mean, the COVID is something that is beyond our control. So it helps me in this crisis to learn sometimes we need to stay in the unknown and live with the uncertainty, but at the same time, have peace in our hearts. Yeah. Because we know that God is in control. Although I am not, but He is. And I think that is the biggest thing that I can learn. Or going back to the car analogy, it's like when I'm stuck in a highway traffic jam for over an hour without moving an inch. Yeah. Now, And maybe I know that my family is waiting for me. They may be worried, or maybe I'm going to an appointment. I'm going to be late.
Yes.
But I'm just stuck, and I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I can do nothing. But then the radio reported that there was a huge fire ahead of you, but the
Mm-hmm.
fire is extinguished. No one was hurt. The road will be unblocked soon.
Mm-hmm.
With that report coming to your ear, you feel comforted. You feel okay, because you know that the situation is under control. And I think the same is true for our situation. Although COVID is still here, although there will be uncertainty and crisis in our life, knowing that God is in control makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
And during that time, my family prayed every evening after dinner, not just for ourselves, but for other countries. I remember that we prayed for Yemen, prayed for Syria, prayed for many other places, prayed for COVID, and now at the time also prayed for the locust plague in the world. So yes, that is a very important lesson for us.
Yeah. And what did you learn about yourself, Spencer? Because, you know, when you are in that situation, there is all, you know, I always say that sometimes you think you know about yourself until something happens that reveals something about you that you didn't even know it existed.
Right.
So in that season, what did you learn about about yourself, Spencer?
Yeah, that's actually what I learned, is that I would try to take control, but I realized that no, I didn't let go. Stay in the unknown.
Believe.
And just believe that God is in control. And what happened is, when I do that, I feel less stressed, and I can look at other opportunities and options. Because when we are very stressed and we focus on taking control, I'm laser focused, and I do not know what happened just beside me.
Absolutely.
So, but if I let go and I relaxed, I can see way more options. And for me personally, during the COVID, although I lost all my clients here, I realized that actually, when I read news, I realized that, well, back in China and Hong Kong, things are not as grim. So actually, I expanded my coaching practices. And of course, because COVID, we can use Zoom a lot more, and everybody got used to using Zoom.
That's why we're here.
Actually now, yeah, that's right. We are here. And I can do coaching with people back in China, Hong Kong, and East Asia, and even in North America. And I found that actually it helps me see more opportunities and expand.
That is so powerful, Spencer. You didn't just feel pity. It's easy when you lose things, you know, you lose the grip of something. It's so easy to sit and start feeling sorry, feeling pity, worrying. But you took that opportunity to look sideways ahead and see, okay, the ball has dropped, but what else is out there and what can I do? Which sometimes we're in crisis, the first thing normally, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, what's gonna happen next? You worry for the next while you instead of you know, solving what's what we are facing. And that's what the Bible says. Do not worry about tomorrow in Matthew, you know, because today has already its own trouble. So that is so encouraging. And I really pray that the people who are going to watch later, those are watching us, you know, now, that they will be encouraged to look sideways to enlarge their vision. Because, you know, when we focus so much with what we are holding, we don't see further. We don't see that there is actually another opportunity. And I love that you use that to see new opportunities. Praise God for that.
Well,
and
that's grace.
Yeah, absolutely. But then, you know, you've mentioned about COVID, Spencer, you know, and I'm just curious now that you have expanded your horizons, you know, you are not just locally, you've gone now global. And, you know, COVID is still here. Have you seen, you know, a different need, you know, for you as a coach after COVID? and before COVID, because you were already, a coach for decades, when I was reading your bio. So what has been the difference have you seen, Spencer? Looking like now you are actually serving customers, not just in UAE, but even outside the country.
Yeah, there is some dramatic difference. One is because of the uncertainty. People in the past, especially in the more Western culture or Western influence culture, uncertainty was is managed. It's carefully managed either by the government or by some others, so that it's certain. But because of COVID, uncertainty now becomes something that is permanent, or at least continuous, in a sense that, I mean, one thing may come after another, and you don't even know where it ends, and things like that. So because of the uncertainty and insecurity that people may feel, there's a bigger need for them to actually find someone to talk to. Because when you face uncertainty, when you face crisis, when you feel insecure, actually, if you can calm down, you can find a solution. The problem is you cannot calm down. And there's so much to worry about, so much uncertainty surrounding you. You feel like you do not have an anchor in your life. So faith and good friend to talk to is very important. And so coaching, it becomes more like a worldwide need now, because of this common human experience that uncertainty is here to stay. So I think that now is in this time in the world, especially leaders need to lead. And if the leaders cannot deal with uncertainty, the people under them cannot deal with it either. So especially leaders, they need to have someone to talk to and someone to process the thoughts with them. So I feel like coaching in this time is more important than any other times in the past.
That's good, because it means, it has opened up new opportunities for you, Spencer. That is so beautiful. But then, okay, so, the need is there. COVID is still there. Uncertainty is there, but we have to live through this, this whole, uncertain way of, of living, and trust the will of our Father. And then, we have to deal with what we have, and, look for new avenues and all that. So you have expanded your business, right? But how has, because before you navigated and pivoted and see new opportunities in East Asia, in Hong Kong, in China, and all that, how has your faith helped you in this all season, Spencer? Because it's easier to say, oh, God, I trust and all that, but it needs faith that cannot doubt. That's what the Bible says. If only your faith will be so little, like the mustard seed, you will tell the mountain, move, and be moved to the sea, and it shall be so, if we don't doubt. So you are there. How has it been for you? How's your faith helped you?
The first thing is, like I said before, because I know that he is in control, and he is good. So even when the world is in chaos, I know that he's still there, and
Amen.
I don't need to worry. It's like my father is there, and I'm a small kid. So when I don't know what to do, I just go back to my father. I can hug him, and I know that he will take care of me. And that is remember. The second is, we know that God is love.
Yes.
And because of that, we as Christians need to love each other and love others as well. And when we look at the world, when it's in COVID, we know that there's a lot of needs. So as Christians, we need to think, when there's a need, we need to think of how we can act like God's ambassador and fulfill that need. And you know what? When you see a need in the world and you realize there is a way to meet that need, that makes very good business sense. It is not just churches and NGOs that do that. Business also do that. You can fulfill a need. That means that's a good business. And the third thing for me that can help me in my faith can help me is that my biblical faith focus on growth within us. So like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, etc. And in coaching, that's also the case. A new coach or a junior coach usually focus on skills. So a manager needs to fulfill that goal. So let's work on how you can fulfill that goal and blah, blah, blah. But when you get more experience, you realize that real growth of a person is not just skill. Skill is just outside things. And if you change your job, all those skills may disappear.
Yes.
But if you help a person grow within him, then no matter where he goes, he can excel. So for coaching, we said that the most important coaching is not the doing, but the being. Help the person to be a better person. That kind of coach is a much better coach than a coach that help the client to have new skills.
Wow. Okay. You just taught me something today. Thanks. Yeah, you know, and it's interesting because I think, you know, let's say, I think I would imagine in organization, you know, it's you know, it's skill driven. It's, you know, how much you are bringing into the company, the revenues and the profits and all these things. But sometimes, you know, investing in that person actually can even produce more than what they are giving already. That is so beautiful.
Let's just give you an example. A manager can have a lot of skills, like managing his team, the time, resources, but all these he has done. But if he lost temper just once in a team meeting, a lot of those efforts will be gone. Now, why he lost temper? Now, that is about him, his being, not his skills, not his communication, but how he handled his own emotion. That is being. If he can handle his being, even if he has a slightly less skill in other things, his team can help him. His team can complement him, because if he can manage himself, he can be a better person. There will be people who is willing to work with him and for him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Managing the things of the heart, isn't it? Yeah, that is so powerful. And okay, so now what you are saying is actually so profound, Spencer. But now when I think about it, some of your clients, they're not, you can't even see them, like you can't, not face to face. Of course, with Zoom it's face to face, but of course there is the barrier, you know, and the social distancing and all that. And what have you noticed difference between, you know, face-to-face coaching versus online coaching? And how has this how has it been for you?
Actually, even before the pandemic, some statistics said that around 70% of the coaching are actually done remotely. In the past, usually through phone calls. Phone calls, or in the past, Skype or other platform. But now with COVID, now we have more options like Zoom and many other options. So it's actually a good opportunity for our industry.
Okay. That is good to know. Well, Spencer, you have shared quite a lot, and I just love your faith in all this. What would you tell someone who is still not sure of what to hold on to? What will be your takeaways to someone who is watching us and they are still not sure of how to handle uncertainty and, you know, and all the changes in what's happening globally and personally in their own lives? What would you tell them?
I'm sure that a lot of people, they have enough inner strength and emotional stability and skills to get through a lot of things. The problem, sometimes they cannot see it. 2 weeks ago, I watched a TED Talk video on YouTube. A surgeon told his audience why everybody need a coach. He said this. He said, you don't recognize the issues that are standing in your way, or even if you notice it, you don't necessarily know how to fix them. And somewhere along the way, you stop improving. That is so true for many people. When you learn a new skill, you grow very fast. But then after you do it well enough, you stop growing.
Yeah.
So and that is so true for people, for everyone. So whether it's COVID or not, we need to grow, and you need having someone to sit next to you in your car and occasionally help you to improve your driving. And I believe that we can all improve. We can all get better. You just need someone to be with you and occasionally cheer you up, pass you a bottle of water, or keep you awake when you are driving.
Yes, that is so powerful, Spencer. Thank you so much. And I really believe that, our audience, they will be inspired by what you have, shared with us, because it's not just, I always feel that when you do things spirit-led, you do it differently. That's why I always say that life in the secular world, it's totally different. And I just love that, you combine, all the different aspects, but also, putting God as the center of, of all that. So thank you so much, Spencer, for sharing, your nuggets, your wisdom. And I know that this conversation will remind other people that, you are not alone. And if you feel that you are alone, then, get someone who they can be with you on the other side of the seat as you are on, as you are driving. So thank you so much. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining me on Fauza's Diary. And I look forward to hosting you again in the near future. And yes, for you, my viewers, I just want to say that if you need any support, Spencer, he's always up for coaching sessions. I know him and I know what he does, and it's just amazing. And he's not just, doing it for I don't know. He is a man of God also. So that also makes it different. You know what I mean? So yeah, his details are below these conversations. If you would like a little bit of a push, someone to give you some water as you're driving, just be in touch and contact him, and he will be more than happy to walk side by side with you in your journey. All right. As well, if you haven't gotten a copy of Transform Fear into Freedom, I would like also to encourage you to do that, because in that book, I have shared so much nuggets, personal experiences, personal journey of how I am navigating. And of course, don't forget to share this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe and stay safe. Wear your mask, wash your hands. We are in this together. You are not alone. Don't feel lonely. If you need someone to cheer you up, as Spencer said, to us. Stay safe, and I will see you again soon with another inspiring conversation, just like this one. Spencer, you have anything to add?
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to share with you and your audience.
Thank you, Spencer. God bless you. May he increase your territory so that you can continue to be of service to other people. God bless you.